got Bombad.
Welcome to the Bombadcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Bombadcast. I am Gerry. I am the Canon Junkie, and it is so nice to see you back here. It's such a Bombad lovely day, and you know what? Why don't I go ahead and just bring in my co-host here. He's known for rocking the Star Wars Twitter world. He once took Star Wars Explained out to lunch. He is the one, the only, the Scott J-Ro. Scotty, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, Gerry? I am the Def Leppard of Star Wars. I really, and I'm not joking, I want that to be my thing. I want people to know me through the Star Wars Twitterverse as the Def Leppard of Star Wars. And I don't know.
Hashtag Star Wars Def Leppard.
Star Wars Def Leppard. And I want to get rocked. No, but in all seriousness, welcome to the Bombadcast, everybody. I hope you're enjoying.
Pour some sugar on us.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Please, okay. Love bites, love
That's
beats.
the right band, right?
Yeah, oh, it is. You're right.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
But no, y'all, welcome to the show. I'm super excited to be here. We're going to be discussing some really cool topic today that I had to do a good bit of research on, and I'm pleased to say I've got some interesting, wonderful background weirdos for you. But Gerry, got any updates? Got any life updates you want to tell us about that happened maybe this week, since the listeners have listened to us last?
Let's see. I don't know. Nothing's really been happening except for that Star Wars Twitter's been rocking my face off with all these interactions we've been getting. So that's been amazing. Just getting those notifications and talking with everybody. It's so amazing.
It's been pretty phenomenal.
It has. Did I finish Solo? No, I'm still kind of like watching Solo in pieces at 4 a.m. when I get up to go to work. But mainly because I was watching Stranger Things, and now I'm watching Stranger Things with my lovely wife Allison. She wanted to watch season 2 before, of course, the wonderful season 3. The much anticipated season 3 drops this coming weekend. So I hope you guys are getting geared up for that.
This is now a
Stranger Things podcast.
Yep. Welcome to I can't even think of a name.
Welcome to Stranger Dudes.
We're calling this the DeLorean Delirium.
Delirium.
No,
a nostalgia cast.
Gerry, I'm super excited for Stranger Things too. Maybe we can have a mysterious Star Wars horror episode come Halloween, because Stranger Things is one of my favorite shows, and I need to get on that. I might binge it in a day, but
we might have to do. We've talked about doing possibly a type of episode called Star Wars / Lucasfilm adjacent, something to that extent. So maybe we go a little more around that corner to the other side of the strip mall that is 80s nostalgia and check out Stranger Things.
We could just discuss 80s culture and how Star Wars influenced any. Anyway, look.
Anyway, but you know what, Scotty? What have you been up to, buddy? Because I want to know what you've been up to.
So I turned 24. The big 24 on, if I'm not mistaken, it was Tuesday, and I went and saw Rocket Man, and it was fantastic. Really, if you have not seen Rocket Man, you love Elton John's music, treat yourself to it. It was wonderful. It's been good. I got this is one of the best. I did not tell you this yet, Gerry. I did get one gift. Apparently, there is a Sabacc card game, kind of not like the one from Galaxy's Edge, but like a mock-up Sabacc card game. My stepdad had got me, so I was like, I think
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so he bought that for me, and I haven't opened the box yet, but he gave it to me yesterday, so I'm gonna look into that, and we might end up playing some Skype Sabacc.
Ooh, I might. Okay, because I've got to figure out, Scotty, if you've got the same exact Han Solo card game in the octagonal box that I got for Christmas from my brother-in-law. that I brought to Celebration and had in my backpack while we were like hanging out, but I didn't think
No.
anyone wanted to play it with me, or we didn't have time because there was
No
too much
way.
Star Wars rocking our face off.
Oh,
I tried starting it when I first got there, but we had to put away the card game because everyone stood up because we were like about to walk in an hour. So
oh my. That is actually amazing. Jerry, I did not know that. Jeez.
so we can like even have I'll even have my own set of cards. I don't know how we're gonna work it out, but we're gonna work it out.
We're gonna look into it and see if we can make this happen.
But Scotty, there's one thing I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
Everything you've heard about me is true.
Ooh.
I just had a droid fill up my coffee cup. I don't know if anyone.
Oh, I
heard
saw
that.
he floated up. He floated away.
It floated up and.
Speaking of,
thanks, love.
Speaking of dealing with the droid and the coffee cup, that's kind of a cool background character, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. There might be
one of
something
mine.
coming.
Maybe. But anyway, besides my birthday, it was fantastic.
But wait, sorry. Here, birthday bell.
Yay! We
There
did
you go,
it!
birthday bell.
Hey,
Hooray.
birthday bell.
Congratulations, you lived 24 years.
Thank you, Bob Iger. That was Bob Iger's wallet opening every time anyone says Star Wars. Bob,
dollar signs.
Bob,
fly
open
out.
your wallet again. Bob, open your wallet again.
Okay, hold on. He's right. Bob, open that wallet up. Okay, just calm down. Calm down.
Jeez. My
Gosh,
goodness.
rub it in my face, why don't you?
My God. Anyway, no. Besides birthday celebrations.
Have you ever seen $1 million bill? Did you know they made a billion one?
I do. I'm Bob Iger.
I got it right here. I had to make it special. See, has my face on it. Okay, go on.
That is amazing. Okay, no, sorry, you're so ridiculous. We actually are the Bombadcast, which is fantastic. I'm so proud of this. We have now gained 200 followers. We are. I know.
What?
I know. We got 100 followers in less than like 9 days, which is insanity.
Oh my gosh,
That's
you guys are
insane.
awesome.
But you
guys are all so awesome,
and it's great because they're following us through different mediums, and I just hope everyone's listening too, which would get me very excited, and I'm stoked to discuss this next episode. But before we go on, we actually received a really awesome audio from someone by the name of Peter Viox, maybe, I don't know, but he's with the Jam Transmissions podcast, and I want to play this audio that he left us, if you don't mind, Jerry. Is that okay?
Absolutely. You know what? I think I'll let it slide. So let's hear from old Pete.
Okay, are you ready? All right, everyone. Here is
I'm ready.
We're tuning in from our friend Pete at Jam Transmissions podcast. Here we go.
Hey, Gerry and Scotty, what's up, dudes? This is Peter Viox from Lexington, Kentucky. You might remember the name from me following you boys recently on Twitter at PeteSkeet2. And I think we have our good buddy Anthony, the one and only rural farm boy, to thank for that. Anyways, I just wanted to say congratulations on the maiden voyage of Bombadcast. I really dig the music. I even had that theme song stuck in my head at work today. I'm finally chilling at home with a Corellian light, so cheers to the Bombadcast. So where I'm at, I've still got about an hour left to go in part 2 of Thank the Makers, but I'm going ahead and getting a voicemail to you guys because it may be a few days before I can get back to listen to the rest. Just the nature of the beast.
I feel you.
I just wanted to say, when I finally got around to checking out episode 0 of the show, I needed a win, and I needed it then. It's been one of those work weeks where I've been doing max overtime, working 11 of the last 12 days, and I was deep in that dark side chasm on Octo, without the strength of Ray to keep me solid. And I got to say, you boys really pulled me out of that funk. I love the show. I love the style. I love the laughter. It felt kind of like conversations I've had with my best Star Wars homies, and you've got a subscriber in me now. The conversation about Celebration Chicago, it took me right back to the thick of it. And it was great to relive the memories and feel that excitement, that electricity of just being there. And I won't be at the next one, but I'm still looking forward to chatting with you guys. Good Star Wars people, moving forward. But I wanted to touch on a couple of thoughts from my most recent listen on my commute before I forgot. First off, I agree with Scotty about the controversial most overrated character pick in Boba Fett. Now, don't get me wrong, Boba Fett is dope. I get it, but you absolutely can't deny that he's had extremely limited screen time and that his biggest fans, as all of us Star Wars folks do, had used their imagination to build up who this badass under the helmet was. For him to be someone's favorite character based on like 6.5 minutes of screen time, it's undeniable. He's overrated. Still cool as hell, though, and I think he definitely survived the Sarlacc. But anyways, you guys were talking about the makers, the storytellers, who bring it home most for us fans. And I really dug what you guys were saying about Rian Johnson, the power of failure being the greatest teacher of all.
Amen.
And guys, and to Bill included, by the way, Kentucky Sports Radio was my first podcast that I ever listened to, so cheers to that. Anyways, I always appreciate it when people incorporate personal reflection into their Star Wars experience, because I believe the entirety of Star Wars can act as a mirror in front of us, allowing us to make sense of certain things in our lives through watching characters from all walks of life, dealing with seemingly insurmountable odds. Sometimes even having to face themselves, Whew. I love it. Keep it personal. It's never a downer. I think we all relate to it in many ways. But as far as a storyteller who brought it home for me, and still continues to, I got to say Dave Filoni. I'm a huge fan of all the Star Wars animation he's had a hand in, and I'm super excited to see him directing an episode of The Mandalorian. I think what he brings to the table not only always feels like Star Wars all the time, but is also new and challenging. And sometimes based entirely on his personal whims, like the wolves and such. And that can be attributed to the fact that he works so closely with George Lucas, and he undoubtedly carries his creative flame forward. So I apologize for the length of this voicemail, but I just wanted to express my gratitude and congratulations to both of you, Gerry and Scotty. I'll close it up here with a question based on a point from your last episode. Do you think if George Lucas had managed to get the rights to making a Flash Gordon film, would it have taken off the same way that Star Wars did? It's crazy to think about. But I mean, do you think that it would have marked the triumphant return of Flash Gordon? And we'd all be discussing Ming theories and wearing shirts with giant iguanas. I don't know. But anyways, you boys take care, and may the force be with you.
What an awesome recording. Thank you so much, Pete, for reaching out. Pete, you are the perfect transition for what to discuss next. But if you haven't listened to that episode with the makers, we had our really good friend Bill Sheehy on. He's on Skywalking Through the League. And it's such a good episode. I'm very proud of what we did with it. And it seemed like everyone really enjoyed it. And I'm so happy to hear you enjoyed it too. Enjoyed it as well, Pete. But what did you have to add to that? Anything in particular, Gerry?
Well, man, first of all, Pete, no apology necessary, my man. That was fantastic. Thank you so much for sending that in. I'm just so psyched that you're enjoying what we're doing here, because it just really keeps us going. And seriously, that's what we're all here for. All of us Star Wars podcasters and stuff, just building each other up. And I love that. It's been such an amazing just ride in this community. So thank you for that. But also, you can already wear a Star Wars iguana shirt if you wear a Varactyl shirt with Boga on it. And if I'm sure you get that, it's the giant bird lizard that Obi-Wan rides in, Revenge of the Sith. So that's that came true. But no, for real, man. Thank you so much for sending that in. But Scott, I don't know. What do you think though about his question? Because I think that's a good question. I was thinking about that this week. I feel like what if he had the only reason we have this wealth of awesomeness that we're about to talk about is because he couldn't get the rights to Flash Gordon.
Hilarious. It's to me. I've watched a couple of old serials. My grandfather loved Gene Autry, and he had one episode which I want to discuss at one point. It's called the Phantom Empire, and I always thought that George 100% took the title for the Phantom Menace from that movie. It's about like an underground civilization. Well, it was a Saturday morning serial, and I don't think it was a Flash Gordon crossover, but it had a lot of Flash Gordon feels. Now, I've only seen a handful of episodes of Flash Gordon. I've seen the movie Flash Gordon. I would imagine it would be good. It would be good, but it would not have made this much of a lasting effect because it's something that already existed. George did so well because he took something that already existed and then made it more perfect by adding the hero's journey to it. You know what I mean? And George really does make great movies. THX 1138 is one of my favorite movies, and I love anything Indiana Jones. He has a way of making really good movies, and American Graffiti is fantastic. But I don't think it would have resonated. It would have been one of those movies, best movies of the 70s, and that's it. It would have never been anything beyond that. It would have been, there wouldn't have been a life-changing sequel with the big reveal. I don't think it would have been what it was. What do you think, though?
Well, honestly, I kind of agree with you, especially you think about, it might have pushed special effects forward.
Yeah.
But I think that, I don't even know if it would have quite, because I think that George still would have wanted to do it as good as he did Star Wars. But I really agree with you. I don't think that, I think it would have just been like, okay, well, that was a fun movie, but
yep.
I mean, how imaginative can you get with a football play? And no shade to Flash Gordon because but it's a football player who went to space and fought a very racially sensitive character.
Yeah,
in space. It's not very. I don't think it would have played very well these days.
Yeah, no, probably not. Probably not as to what most would have wanted to see, and back in the day, I mean, it would have been a groundbreaking movie for special effects more than likely, but that's probably it. Like really,
Absolutely.
In all honesty, that's probably to the most extent. That's as far as it would go. So
exactly.
But no, I'm so glad you could write in, Pete. Thank you, and
yes, thanks so much, man.
I can't wait to listen to your show too, and maybe one day we'll work together. But but look, there's something that we do every show. If you're a first time listener, we do something we call the Bombad fact of the show. Okay, and Jerry's Bombad fact for episode 1 was hilarious, but here we are, episode 2,
and disturbing,
and a little odd, yeah. Okay, but here's my Bombad fact for you, Jerry. Are you prepared?
Okay,
100% true.
I am ready.
This is 100% true. I looked this up. This is more of a behind-the-scenes fact rather than a fact about Jar Jar himself or the Gungan race or anything dealing with Naboo. But this deals with the casting of our wonderful character Jar Jar Binks. Okay, you ready? This is straight from Wikipedia, not Wikipedia, Wikipedia, and I looked it up. This is 100% true. It says, George Lucas was inspired to develop Jar Jar based on the Disney character Goofy. Singer Michael Jackson wanted to play the role, but wished to portray the character using prosthetics, while Lucas wanted him to be all CGI. Ahmed Best, who would end up playing the character, later hypothesized that Lucas might have felt uncomfortable with the thought of the singer's casting overshadowing the actual movie. Now, that's the fact. I think that's so unbelievably interesting that Michael Jackson, who worked with Lucas on Captain EO, which is actually a really pretty good movie, it's like a 17-minute movie. It's very entertaining. But it's.
Can I confess something to you?
Yes.
I've never seen Captain EO.
Dude, it's on YouTube. And for my listeners
I'll have
too,
to check it out.
Literally, it's only 17 minutes. When you get a break in the day or whenever you're just trying to kill some time, watch it. Music's good, and it's going to tickle your 80s nostalgia if you have it. I was born in 95, and I somehow still have 80s nostalgia. But it's such a good little short, and it's. I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever told this to you, Jerry, or if you've ever heard anything about Captain EO, but apparently Francis Ford Coppola was involved with like directing it. George Lucas like produced it, and I'm not kidding. And Spielberg was also involved. And ILM did the special effects and the creatures.
How have I not seen this?
It's honestly one of the weirdest mixes of 80s everything, and like it's just it's pretty groundbreaking. But anyway, and it's the first. I'm pretty sure it was one of the first 4D or 3D styled movies at I believe it was in Epcot. Yes, it was in Epcot.
Was it for Disney World?
It was for Disney World, and it's actually very odd. You would really enjoy it. I know you would.
Wait. Is it Captain EO is like that? That's Spaceship Earth, right?
You know what? I don't know that much about my Disney World culture.
I think it might be. That's the only ride I never got to go on the couple of times I went in my adult life because the line was 4 days long. So I regretfully skipped it. I didn't want to, but it just kind of is the nature of the beast. So
yeah, no, I completely understand that.
But anyway, that's so crazy.
Yeah, could you imagine Michael Jackson being Jar Jar? What?
I feel like Michael Jackson in The Phantom Menace would have been like Michael Jackson's cameo in Men in Black when he's like just on the screen and he's just Michael Jackson.
Yes.
He's in Men in Black as Michael Jackson going, I can be Agent M. You remember that?
Yes.
Like and Rip Torn like completely ignores him and turns the screen
exactly.
off.
And like it's so funny the fact that you say that, but like that one scene is the only thing I can remember from that sequence of Men in Black. So for you to say that is kind of true as to what Ahmed Best said. He said he hypothesized that Lucas would have felt uncomfortable that the singer's casting would have overshadowed his actual movie, which is true. And you know
absolutely
how much dislike Jar Jar received just from being portrayed the way he was. Imagine if Michael had done it, and of course everything that had come out recently with Michael and the documentary about Neverland. It would have almost tainted the movie. So I'm so glad that they did not end up going that route. And I love Michael Jackson's music. I don't condone anything he has done, but it's just that would have made the Phantom Menace a little bit more sour than it already was for some people. So
that would have just
could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Well, can you imagine though watching that movie with him as Jar Jar, but just like Michael Jackson with a prosthetic duck bill and ears, like frickin' Howard the Duck from the 80s,
and he'd be like. Misa Bombad, you know how he talks.
Hey boys, Misa Bombad.
Misa Bombad.
Misa Bombad. Chum chum on Qui-Gon. Anyway.
That is excellent. Oh, that was
I digress.
Excellent. That was excellent.
Qui-Gon.
So bad. Anakin, you're gonna be so bad. No, there was your
starting out okie day.
I hope everyone's on their headphones like this is just a nightmare. I'm turning this off. No,
they're probably like, oh, this is so awful. This is worse than if he was in the Phantom Menace.
See, I wanted to be the Def Leppard of Star Wars culture, but I don't know if I will be now. I'm just doing a Michael Jackson thing.
Yeah, you can be the Def Leppard of Star Wars culture, and I'll be the Weird Owl.
Wait, look, funny. This is the perfect transition, Jerry. Did you know another interesting fact that I believe it was the which boy band was it? It was a boy band. Was it Backstreet Boys?
I know who you know.
Who was it? Was it NSYNC?
It was NSYNC, my friend.
They were. Did you know that NSYNC was actually going to be background characters for a scene in? There'd be a couple of background Jedi for a scene in Attack of the Clones because of George Lucas's daughter. But you
don't say,
Jerry. What is a background character?
Well, Scotty, a background character is generally anyone in the background of a film, but. You know what? Background characters and side characters in Star Wars, they're all a bunch of weirdos, and I am not ashamed to say I love them all.
Wonderful weirdos.
They're a bunch of wonderful weirdos. It's almost like we deliberately titled this that, but I just want to gather them up in my arms and just give them a big hug and squeeze their little action figure heads off.
Yeah. Okay. Well, wait a minute.
With love.
Maybe the action figures have something to do with why we like these wonderful weirdos. So what makes these wonderful background weirdos so special? Why do we gravitate towards them, bud?
Sorry, are you asking me?
No, I'm being serious. Yeah, no. Why do we like them? Really?
Why? What is our fascination? I think it's because it makes us feel like this world is so populated.
Yeah.
And what other franchise do you know of that had action figures made of a bunch of weird aliens that were in a bar in one scene of a movie?
Exactly.
What other franchise makes action figures out of a guy trying to sell drugs to basically a cop? It's just like basically a Backstreet Boy with antennas coming out of his head.
Exactly, and the best part
with the
about
best
that
name
is,
ever.
Why did they have some background characters, especially in the special editions, walk in front of the damn camera? Like, I never understood that. That there's that one shot whenever the land speeder pulls up and someone just walks right in front of the camera.
I know the shot you're talking about. I don't know how long ago it's been since you've watched it. That's a full-on Ronto, like elephant dinosaur. It is.
It's been a while.
It's a full-on Ronto.
It's
been a full-on Ronto.
Oh my goodness!
But now, Scotty, you can go to Galaxy's Edge and Walt Disney. Disneyland.
Yes.
Currently, we'll wait a couple more months and we go to Disney World.
Yes.
But have yourself a Ronto wrap and get revenge on that guy.
No way! Oh, I can't wait! I'm gonna eat a Ronto for ruining that beautiful shot.
I hear it tastes like pork. But again, this is a conversation me and you're gonna have to have sometime when we kind of do maybe a cantina brawl because I don't know. I think we're of two ilks.
Just admit it.
I dig it. I dig it, and
gosh.
I think I'm gonna make you mad with some picks on my list.
Jerry, I can't believe you, Jerry.
Not gonna lie.
You're gonna hear Jerry and I get into our first fight, and then we can't cuddle after to make up for it because we are in very different parts of the United States, but we're in the same room.
Allison, if you're listening,
we're in the same room. So.
If you're listening, Allison, I love you. No.
Yeah. Katie, it's gonna be a minute because I have to talk to my special man.
Just give us a couple minutes, guys. Anyway,
okay.
So,
why do background characters like the damn what's that thing called? The
Ronto.
The Ronto rap, whatever. Why does it have to walk?
It's called a Ronto. I'm pushing my glasses up as I say that. You can't see that currently, but I'm pushing them up.
Actually, Scott, it's a Ronto.
Is it your Ewok glasses?
Well, we prefer to call them corrective lenses. I couldn't think of an Ewok name.
Corrective lenses.
We're very progressive in the Ewok community these days.
Oh man!
So your question.
You're ridiculous. No, it dealt with the background characters. Let's just get into this.
Let's just do it. Okay.
Give me one of your background characters because we have. Look, I guess I'll give a little briefing. Jerry and I have developed 10 background characters that we want to bring out and discuss in this show. And to be honest with you, I just know Jerry's are just going to be just absolutely bizarre. Mine are kind of odd too. Mine come from more video games and books. But Jerry, I want you to start this off. Give me your first background character.
Okay, well, you know what? Gosh, I found out something about myself this week, Scott. I sat up late, this Friday night, feverishly working on this list. And it was not just sweat from
some sort
work.
Of addict.
It was, I was like the Star Wars sweats. It's like full on. If you, hey, God rest John Schnapp's soul, but he always used to call if you're into something really hardcore and you start talking about it, you get sweaty. You're a sweaty, and I love that term. I am a super Star Wars sweaty, and I am especially I love the Weirdos.
Me too.
I am so into the Weirdos. There's no shortage.
It was so perfect because it's just it's like really exactly what I agree with. It's you really appreciate these strange beloved characters that you have a fascination with that just happen to walk across screen in the background or even get mentioned in a book or whatever. But
absolutely.
But
Well,
what's your
what we
first
love
one,
about
bud?
Star Wars. It's what
Yeah,
we love
exactly.
about Star Wars. And my first pick, and you let's see, let's just go back and forth. I'll do my one, then
Yeah.
you go to your one. And we'll
Tell
go
me,
back
you gotta
and
tell me why though. You gotta tell me why.
forth. Why? Oh, tell you why I picked that. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, I thought you were saying, tell me why we have to go back and forth. I was like, Scott, that's just good format.
I thought you were talking about the Michael Jackson song that's like, why
Why
you do this?
Lisa?
Yeah.
Qui-Gon! Okay. Anyway.
Okay, your first one.
My first, number one.
Oh wait, hold on, real quick before you
Okay.
go on. Jerry and I have not discussed these characters, so there might be a chance that we have the same one, and if that's the case, we'll improvise because
Yes.
this
If
is
that's
how
the
live
same-
TV works.
It's the same. If it's the same, Scott, then we're soulmates, and it doesn't matter if we don't agree on the special edition.
Exactly, and
we are still best friends.
we're besties. But yeah, so we haven't discussed this. So this is being recorded live.
Okay.
It's Saturday night. Okay, let's go.
Okay. So my first character is actually is two characters in one. It is Fode and Bede, the two-headed alien announcer from the Phantom Menace. Yeah, son, I love that character. I don't care what you say.
But that's gotta hurt.
I don't care what galaxy you're from.
That's it.
He's still one of my favorites.
That's exactly. I forget that line. I don't care.
Am I stepping on any of your Star Wars toes?
No, not so far. Why do you like them so much?
I have always, ever since the Phantom Menace came out, like they dropped an action figure of them, I think the year after Phantom Menace came out. Mm-hmm. And I was so sweaty about that. Like, I was just like, it's the Star Wars two-headed announcer. And it was just because, when the Phantom Menace came out, they did things that we didn't know were possible in Star Wars.
True.
Because special effects had gotten to a point where you could do things. And that it almost was... There is an article in Star Wars Insider from after that came out where they were interviewing the guys who did the voices. Now, one of the guys is Greg Proops.
Yes.
From, if you've ever watched Whose Line Is It Anyway, he was the one that always wore the suit and had the kind of goofy voice. He's so funny, and I love him. And he actually does the voice of the announcer on Star Wars Resistance right now.
That's awesome.
I don't know if you've gotten to watch that one yet, Scott. You should check it out. It's got so many deep cuts.
I love Resistance, and I've heard the voice, but I didn't know they got the same actor to do it. That's actually really incredible. That is awesome. I thought it was an impersonation of that actor's voice. It's Greg
Proops.
awesome. Oh my goodness!
And you know what, Scott? They almost had them. They had makeup to their face, like.
Yes,
like
I've seen
prosthetics
that
and all.
picture. It's so weird.
It wasn't just for a picture. It wasn't just for photography. Like, here's these guys. They were going to have their actual heads on a CGI stock body, or maybe they were actually going to have them together in like a terrible bodysuit.
Oh my gosh!
They were going to go practical.
Yeah, that's actually kind of awesome. That would have been interesting to see.
It would have been kind of interesting, but I'm kind of glad they went the way they did because it made it feel a little more alien. And that's what I think I loved, is it made me go, that is crazy. And I've heard I've heard people that this is like the bane of some people's existence. And I think you'll find on this podcast that I probably am the living embodiment of the bane of your existence. But it's okay because we're all Star Wars, we all love it, and we all love each other, people. So, but that serves. I just always loved it. The idea
an interesting
that an alien has two heads.
Well, funny.
What does that got to be like?
I know, and they have great banner because one of them speaks the whatever the alien dialect was.
He's the Huttese. He's the Huttese speaker.
I didn't know he spoke Huttese. Okay, that's even cool.
Jabba Hutt.
That's actually
we didn't plan that.
No, because
that's
this
just
is
how
funny.
in sync we are.
Jerry, my friend here, he brought up Star Wars Resistance. My next character comes from Star Wars Resistance, and I don't really know how to say his name, but his name is Opipit.
Let me tell you, it is exactly how it sounds, and it sounds dirty and weird. It is O.P. Pit.
O.P. Pit. I did not realize that.
It's a pea pit. No, sorry.
Pit.
Okay.
But
OP
okay,
Pit.
thank you for clearing that up. But I will say this: a lot of people wrote about him in our thread we made, and I can't agree
popular.
more. He is he's the funniest character on that show.
Because Scott, tell us who he is. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't know what species he is, to be honest with you. I don't have it all the way pulled up. But he is the cleaner on the what's the name of their ship? The
Colossus.
The Colossus, yeah, he's the cleaner of the Colossus, and from the first episode, like, you see him in the background just cleaning the floor, and like every subsequent episode, like every other episode maybe, or almost every episode, you see him just doing his job. And then by the end of it, the First Order takes his floor cleaner, and it's hilarious because he's sad and doesn't know what to do. But
then he still shows up after his
yes.
Spoilers, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But the only thing he has to like really express his face is his eyebrows, or like hair that's where his eyes are, and it's just so funny because it's such a he always looks frustrated, but he looks sad in some I guess bits, and then other times he looks like kind of happy, but like it's just such a strange and fun character. And to be honest with you, I know Dave Filoni wrote a lot of this. He really didn't like produce any of it, but that, to me, that's such a Dave Filoni character. And I hope one day we're at Galaxy's Edge, and like 5 years from now, once Resistance really kind of ends and catches on, we see someone in that costume just cleaning up like a corridor, you know? But yeah, he's my first pick, and someone did mention he has an actual character arc, and he really does. He like really has. He really does.
Arc. His tragedy, the tragedy of OP Pit, takes place in the background of that show. It's so tragic and awesome, and so hilarious. It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Scott, I actually found the species name. Are you ready for this? And this species was actually in The Force Awakens.
I know that. I noticed that. I noticed that.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. Actually, push my glasses up because I'm fansplaining again. But are you ready for? Ready for the species name? Because it's excellent. It fits. He is no lie, Frigosian, and it's spelled like Frig, like Frig, like Frigosian, because OP Pit don't give a frig.
Yeah, he don't give a frig at all. He just wants he wants to clean his floors. That's it. That's like all he wants to do. I mean, come on, let's be real.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen this video of the kid like, I'm so fricked off at Fricks for being Fricks. That is in a nutshell the spirit of OP Pit.
Yep, I can tell.
So
I can tell.
Yeah.
All right, Gerry. Who is your next one? Who is the spirit of? Who do you identify with, Gerry?
It's funny you said that about this one, and it's funny that you also didn't say the number two. My number two pick is insert poo joke here, I guess. Number two. Joke. I am a 5-year-old.
You found a way to plug it in. You found a way to plug in the Phantom Menace poop joke.
Fart joke from the Phantom Menace. And funny we mentioned the fart joke from the Phantom Menace because it takes place in the pod racing scene. And in the pod racing scene, I don't know if you might have to slap me if this guy is a little too big. See, we're going not only background characters, but side characters as well.
Okay.
And I have a really special place in my heart for Sebulba.
Oh man, Sebulba, I love that guy.
Is he too? He's a secondary character? Is that?
Yeah, but I feel like that would work. I mean, regardless, he's still there. Okay. He's not really much anything. He serves that one purpose, and that's it. So he's there.
He's there to talk up how bad he is and try to cheat, and then lose to Anakin Skywalker, lose to a 10-year-old.
Yeah, poodle.
And he walks on his hands.
That's crazy.
How great is that? That was just like that was one of the first cool creature designs. It's one of the first creature designs I saw in Star Wars Insider. Whenever the Phantom Menace was coming out, and I was spellbound because I'm like, what? He walks on his hand. Those are his feet, and his feet are his hands, cool. And I read somewhere in like a species compendium or something. Because I'm a nerd, that it's because of the gravity on it. We now know in canon that they are from Malastare.
Yeah, Malastare.
Mainly, if those of you who want to know what I'm talking about, if you watch the Clone Wars, it's the episode, the first one, where they unearth the Zillow beast.
Yes.
Those are some famous episodes. Don't hate me; they're not my favorites, but I do like that they tried out doing like a giant Godzilla movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun, but I love that they went there and you saw that basically the things that they ride, the animals they ride, are basically built the same way. They walk on their back legs and have their hands there, but their heads are down, where essentially Sebulba's crotch would be.
yes, but it works.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about the weird mounts of the Dougs. We're here to talk about one special Doug in my heart, Sebulba. And I like to think, Scotty, I don't know if you've seen the Blu-ray special editions, because I know you're not a fan. But there is a Doug that walks.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Doug that walks
Palace.
through? I love that, and I like to think my headcanon is that Sebulba.
No
he's down on his luck.
way.
He's just hanging out in Jabba's palace.
He's at
and probably gets blown up the next day by the kid who beat him's grandson or son.
That's so excellent. That'd be great.
I don't know. I just love everything. I've basically gushed about this character as much as I could. And yes, for all of you who are wondering, I did get the Sebulba's Hot Dogs T-shirt. I had to get that as soon as I saw it.
It's a great shirt.
I almost got. I know you guys probably aren't gonna, believe this, but I almost got the Mace Welcome to the Windu City. With Mace Windu. I don't hate Mace Windu. Stop sending me hate mail. No one's sending me hate mail.
Shout out to Bushy.
Shout out to Bill. Hey, by the way, go check out Skywalking Through the League. This last episode they dropped last week, guys. They gave us some good shout outs, but also Bill kind of talked about his ideas for his Mace Windu series a little more in depth, and it was actually pretty good. He was kind of selling me on it. So just go check that out. Him and Trey are doing some good stuff over there. So go check them out at Skywalking Through the League. But anyway, Scotty, there is a number 2 that you have on your list.
Oh, there is.
And it is something I want to hear about. So tell me.
Okay, so funny enough you say that. This character is actually a droid, and there is no 2s in his name, but he is truly, and I am not exaggerating, the most important droid in all Star Wars. I don't care what you say about R2-D2. Yes, he was there for some stuff, but if this dude did not have a bad motivator, we would not be where we are now. And I'm referring to my boy, R5-D4, my people right there.
Snap.
And you know what's even better? They flesh out R5-D4's story way more in the certain point of view book, which is like the perfect reference book for this entire discussion. And
so excellent. Check it out, for real.
I love that character, and I have the audiobook, and it's so good. You hear his voice. He talks to R2 at one point. It's like, R2's like, please, I need you to malfunction, like, or please, if they choose you over me, I need you to, whatever. And lo and behold, R5-D4, who apparently in Legends was force sensitive and had some sort of foresight.
I heard that.
Yeah, to where he knows that he needs to explode and make a mistake for Luke to be like, come on, this was a bad motivator. And he's like, hey, what are you selling us? Drunk or whatever he said.
Couldn't he have just have done like a mind trick on them, and just like
exactly.
maybe he didn't have the right attachment to do like a hand wave or something. I'm sorry, I'm being droidist now.
Yeah,
so,
thanks. Wow, unbelievable. But no, my boy Gerry, R5-D4 is on my list. I just think he's a cool design. He's an R5 unit. He's
the OG, man.
He's the OG
flat top.
And whenever I go to Galaxy's Edge and I make my own droid, it's going to be an R5 droid. It's not going to have a round head. It's going to have a flat head. Because I love that design. And it's just such a pivotal scene for Star Wars. Like, really is. If R2 had not been sold, I mean, could you imagine what would have happened, But,
it would have been horrible. We wouldn't have had the movie.
Exactly. Now, let me ask you this. Who is your next one, Gerry?
Okay, well, my number 3 is a droid.
Okay.
I've talked about him before.
Okay.
It is Professor Hugh Yang. Hugh Yang. So I did actually get one from the Hugh Wang. That's it. That's what it is. Hugh Yang. It's spelled very weird, but I love it. The way they pronounce it is like Hugh Wang. if you again go back a couple, I think he was my most underrated character that I talked about a couple episodes or last episode.
Yeah,
and so I really want stuff from him. I just think he's like, again, I've talked about him like to no end on that one, but just such a magical character. It's like this droid that has been around for thousands of years, helping Jedi younglings put together their first lightsabers on a starship. He lives on a starship and just like basically plays Ollivander, the wand maker to all these Jedi. And who wouldn't want more of this character?
Exactly.
I mean, he's awesome. Played by oh crap! I keep wanting to say Matt Smith, David Tennant. I remembered this time.
Oh yeah,
I promise I've watched Doctor Who.
He was a Doctor Who. Yeah, he was a Doctor.
Yes,
I forgot about that.
He was one of my he was my favorite for a while. I like Matt Smith as well, but and we're about to get Matt Smith in Star Wars probably unless he's lying.
Yes.
Well, if he's lying, we'll get him in Star Wars.
Exactly.
But that again, there you go. That's my number 3,
That's an awesome
Scotty.
one. I really like that one. I've always really admired a good Clone Wars character, and he definitely is one, especially for the
Clone Wars is chock full of them.
So many good ones. My next one is not a part of Clone Wars, but I will tell you, you will see this man run across the background in Empire Strikes Back with a ice cream maker in his hand, and that is my dude, my buddy, Will Hood. That dude is amazing, such a special character, and even just from being so obscure, he's got one of the coolest parts in Star Wars Celebration, the run of Will Hood. If you had not seen that yet, and you've attended a Celebration, you missed out. But look, next time you're at Celebration Anaheim, look out for it. Ask people around when it's going to happen, and they will tell you what day, what time, and you take your phone out, get a good video of it, because it is hilarious. It's about like 70 people that dress up like Will Hood, and they just run around the convention center, all in a big line.
Different versions of him as well. Like
yes.
My see, okay, I actually was upset because I was so waiting for it, but missed it, and so I was upset. But I saw the video, and someone was dressed as an ice cream maker carrying a Will Hood doll.
It's literally amazing.
That was so meta. I loved it. And then
incredible.
they had then did you see that they had like 2 or 3 guys dressed as the boom mic guy just wearing pink shorts?
Yes. That's another good one.
It was glorious. So many. I love Star Wars deep cuts. They're so beautiful.
And
so beautiful.
funny enough, Will Hood, I don't know if he's going to be in The Mandalorian, but I remember specifically, it must have been in like October or November maybe, before anything was really announced. Jon Favreau, one of the first things he posted on his Instagram was the same exact ice cream maker.
Yes.
That same model. And he didn't really have a caption, I don't believe, but we might see the return of someone holding a computer hard drive in Star Wars. It might be Will Hood, but who's gonna be running across the background for you, Jerry? Who's your next pick, bud?
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, my next one I think is gonna make you happy because I know I'm such a what do you call it? A special edition. I'm such a canon junkie, but also a special edition shill. But my number 4 currently is Lax Savrak.
Oh my gosh!
Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, but I that name is just so Pablo Hidalgo. What is Lax Savrak?
Lax Savrak was the werewolf in the cantina that is no longer in the cantina. They replaced him with an actual, I forget the name of the species, but I had the action figure from the Power of the Force line or something.
Wow.
But he was like some elephant nose thing now. Yeah. And I honestly didn't realize that they had completely cut him until like a year or 2 ago. I was like, wait, where's my Wolfman? He's awesome. He's canon. He's canon, isn't he?
Completely cut. Wow. You're right.
I just love, and the whole story behind that, I will drop, if you haven't listened to the audiobook or read Chris Taylor's How Star Wars Conquered the Universe, do it. It has a lot of cool background information. But they had a lot of trouble filming the cantina scenes, and they had to do a bunch of reshoots when they were back in the States. And so they had to reuse props from other movies. That was a prop from a werewolf horror movie.
Wow.
Straight up from 20th Century Fox's, from the 20th Century Fox warehouse.
Wow.
It's him, and then I love the little like hand puppet, like weird lamprey looking thing that like looks up and talks to him that he growls at. I think in Legends they were actually a couple, like straight up like a couple, like romantic. I think. If I'm wrong on that, I'm sorry. Just talk to whatever. Just don't yell at me.
Yeah.
But again, Lax Savrak.
Good
Hashtag missed opportunities. Hashtag bring him back. Also, just side note. Also, a good thing about Resistance is the character Greg Proops plays he's an alliteration or he's some amalgamation of the Lax Savrak name.
Oh,
so they reuse that name for this guy. I'm hoping if they ever show who it is, that it'll be a Wolfman, and my life will be complete. I forget the actual species name. They actually had one of the Wolfman characters in the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars.
I do remember that actually.
You remember that? It was like the second volume 2 or something with the Shaggy Jedi. The Jedi Shaggy
hitting us with the deep cuts. My God,
I'm telling you,
I'm
man.
bleeding everywhere.
It's
so
like
many deep cuts.
It is like I am like Andy Bernard at a skating rink asking for all. Who was he asking for? Not Bob Dylan. Asking for deep cuts. I think it was Bob Seger or something, or the Eagles or something. But anyway, that's all me. But Scotty, I'm just really excited to hear what your number 4 is because I'm not as good at transitions as you.
No, it's all no worries. Look, my number 4 is going to be a pod racer, and funny enough, my next 2 are also pod racers. So, or I guess this one and the next one are definitely pod racers.
I love it.
So this one actually is a pretty interesting following on Twitter. A very social media savvy pod racer named Ben Quadraneros.
Oh, and no way.
I just love, there's nothing quite like Ben Quadranero's face, and I don't know why. It is like the happiest, and he's got these big jaw lines, he's got little eyes, a little nose, and a huge mouth, and 4 arms. And to see him pounding at his pod racer's control deck is hilarious. And then he slams his hands down, and all 4 of the engines spiral into the air. But then again, you got to realize, people are probably like, oh, it's so campy and slapstick. But look, I saw that movie when I was 5 years old, and for some reason that name, because it's his first name is so Earth-like, Ben, and it's Quadraneros.
Yes,
it's just
he has a 4 in his name.
Yes, he does. I never realized that. That's actually amazing. Wow. And he has a purple undershirt on. I mean, who can't like him? But yeah, no, that's my pick. Simply because I just love that sequence in the Phantom Menace, and it seems like we're really talking about a lot of pod racers and a lot of people from the Boonta Eve Classic right now.
Dude, we love it. Okay, may I just say that Ben Quadraneros, okay. I think the thing you said there was something about his face. I'll tell you what the thing about his face was. It was his whole body.
Exactly. That's so true.
His entire body is face. He is the SpongeBob SquarePants of the Star Wars universe.
It's amazing. What? I just realized that. My goodness.
The reason people probably dislike Ben, and I've heard a lot of people, Ben Quadraneros. Not Ben Solo. Ben Quadraneros looks like a living cartoon character.
It really does.
That is why I love him. And I have to tell you, Scotty, he's my number 7.
Ooh.
In no particular. Again, these are in no particular order, but this is how in sync we are. I love Ben Quadraneros.
He's a great character.
Just how it's like they're like building him up like Ben Quadraneros, his something power couple or whatever.
Yes.
Oh, it's like there goes Quadranero's power coupling. But may I just say, if you have a problem with the design of Ben Quadraneros, maybe you should go to a little place I like to call Jabba's Palace. And speaking of that,
okay.
If we move on to my number 5, Jabba's Palace. I'm about to ruin your world, Scotty.
Let's do it. Ruin
Zhao Yaoza You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I was know, but I'm about to type his name in.
Maybe I wonder if I should let you Google and figure out who
spell
it is.
Is it Jow?
I think it's JOW, then Yowza, like Yowza, like YOWZ.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Is he popping up?
Oh, why would you pick him? My
because
God.
he's so freaking weird. Ben, yes, not Ben Quadraneros. Yes, the only other person whose face is almost his entire body. Mr. Jow Yowza, the backup singer from the special edition of the Max Rebo Band musical number. He's the guy who runs up to the camera, gives us a good deep note, shows us how good those lungs are, and we get to watch his two little dangly things in the back of his throat wiggle around. I am kind of relishing the fact that you're probably like cringing over there.
I'm not. It's just I'm looking at his Wikipedia, and I love that it says behind the scenes, Yowza was added to the extended musical number in the special edition. It just doesn't sound like Star Wars. To the extended musical number, it just sounds ridiculous. Oh, that's a really good background character that most people will hate you for. So
I know.
Jerry.
I'm making so many. Please comment to me and tell me how dumb I think. Okay, don't tell me how dumb I think. But if you love Jow Yowza and you've been like hiding in the wings, come out. It's our coming out party, baby. Here we are.
Wait, I gotta
we are shouting Yowza and we do not care.
Okay, the canon entry is hilarious. Can I read it?
Read it because people probably go in there and just like crap all over this guy. This guy has so more abs than all of us. I had the action figure. He has so many abs.
Do you really? You have the action figure?
I have the Jow Yowza action figure. I have just about the entire Max Rebo band.
What is
sir?
Wrong?
Thank you. Good day.
I had a Max Rebo plush. I need to find it. I don't know where it's at. Okay, so
I have and my Max Rebo has feet.
Oh,
just for the Black Series Rebels people out there, he's got feet. Sorry.
Okay, so Jow Yowza. Let me give you a little brief canon description of Jow Yowza. His Legends entry is unbelievable, but his canon one is Jow Yowza was a male Yuzum performer of the Max Rebo band. He often performed duets with Cy Snoodles. Shortly before the Battle of Endor, Yowza and the rest of his band performed at Jabba the Hutt's palace on planet Tatooine. Among Jabba's courtiers, there are many people who disliked Yowza's voice and dreamed of silencing him brutally. The Hutt, however, appeared to like the Yuzum singer, and Jabba's opinion was the only one that mattered in his palace. But I'm hoping in 2023 we get a 40 different stories book, and we get just how Jow Yowza became who Jow Yowza was.
Jow Yowza doing his vocal warm-ups for like the May I just say the reason why I like Lopty Neck and Jedi Rocks. I'm not saying I like one over the other. I lean more towards this just because the special edition hit me at a I watched the originals first.
Yes.
I loved the crazy over the topness. I've always been a weirdo. Like I said, the Weird Al of the Star Wars fan community. But what I loved about it was it's like if Dave Matthews Band was in Star Wars.
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
And honestly, it's like, okay, and I know that upsets people, but I'm like, I kind of dig, we listened to straight up 80s hair metal with Zeb in that episode of Rebels. So I'm like, come on.
Def Leppard. He was listening to Def Leppard, actually.
And don't tell me that Lopty Neck doesn't sound like Duran Duran, kind of wrote something, or like Blondie or something. You know what I mean? Like one of those 80s pop groups,
it does.
Pop punk. It sounds like that.
It's the Jay Giles band.
I love it, guys. But the reason it sounds spacey and out of this world to us is because most of us most of the people who grew up with it grew up in the 80s, but some of us are just like me and Scotty, 80s music sounds like it's from a different planet.
It does. It does to a certain extent.
Which is why I love it.
And I agree with that. Now, my next character I'm going to list as my number 5.
Okay.
He's
give it up.
if you want to, Jerry, and treat yourself. I don't know if you've heard of this character before. He is from the Pod Racer video games. He is actually in the Phantom Menace, but it's so brief you couldn't catch it. And he was actually only seen outside of Dex's diner and Attack of the Clones, and they zoom in on his diner, like that over the head shot. And funny enough, I've actually tweeted Pablo Hidalgo about this character, asking him how many times has he had a canon appearance, and he gave me a really good answer. We talked back and forth, like, what is his design based off of? And we talked back and forth. This was like 2 years ago.
So awesome.
I couldn't find it on Twitter. I really went looking, but I couldn't find it. But anyway, his name is Eb E. Endocott, and he is nothing but it looks like a bat with some nipples and a blue-faced, some sort of monkey-faced ape creature. It is one of the weirdest and most uncomfortable Star Wars designs I have ever seen. He is a Triffion, and he's from the planet Triffus. And his name is Eb E. Endocott. And if you want to, I'll even give you the pleasure of pausing this right now and looking at this dude, and it's gonna make you like do one of those things with your head. You're like, huh, I didn't know that's odd. But I used to play this character. I used to be this character on Star Wars Pod Racer for the N64. And I liked the way his ship floated and moved and looked. So I was Eb E. Endocott, and he is just one of my favorite.
Good Lord.
He's such a ugly...
The picture that pops up when you Google.
It looks like the flying monkeys from The Wizard of Oz. It's creepy. It's horribly creepy.
It's horrifying, but it's awesome. I love it.
They could do a whole series on how scary this dude looks. It is terrifying. But that is my boy, Eb E. Endocott. What's up, bud?
Did he not have clothes on in the?
Oh no, he didn't. I don't think so.
Oh, here's what it is. It's in the pod racing game, which I love as well, sir. That's an excellent game. I played it as him a few times. He's wearing clothes in the game, but if you Google a picture of him, he is loud and proud.
He is loud and proud.
Showing that, how awesome of him, showing off his
Nepelia.
Look at him showing off his C-section scar and everything.
Yes.
maybe I don't know what gender or what his species.
Eb E. Endocott is.
Talks about that, Mr. Eb E.
He's got
Endocott.
yellow eyes. The hair color's incredible. It's black, blue, yellow, and cream. It's just such a bunch of gross colors.
It looks like if you took like a baboon and shaved his like torso.
Yeah.
And gave him chicken feet.
Yes, and then you were to like paint his face a different color. It's such a weird design. But apparently, which I think is interesting on here, he completed 4th place at the Boonta Eve Classic. So
really
good to know he actually completed the race. His pod did not crash. So yeah, good thing to keep in mind. But
good job,
Jerry. I gotta know
Endocott.
who's racing into your next spot, bud.
Oh, very nice, sir. Very nice. At number 6, a pick that will probably not anger as many people as my last few.
Yeah.
Amonamon.
Oh, okay.
Amonamon.
Let me look up
and
this.
And that's all I have to say. The popular Amonamon is all that you guys have to. That's all I have to say. And immediately it calls to mind the terrific, just adorable face of Amon.
I forgot about Amon. Wow, that's a great design.
I'm trying to remember the exact. He's like an Amani or something.
Yeah.
There was the unused arcs of the Clone Wars, the Crystal Crisis arc with Obi-Wan and Anakin on Utapau. These creatures actually live in canon, because those are canon, on the plains of Utapau.
Wow.
It is, if you remember in Jabba's palace, I believe.
Yeah, I see him right here.
Luke and Han get led past him towards the end.
Well,
he is. How would you describe him, Scott? Let me try real quick. He looks like if you took like a flatworm with arms and slapped a face on it, or like a cobra. If a cobra had like a nose and. Just Google him. He's like.
He looked like.
Go ahead.
he looks like if you were to like take a leech and paint it a leech green and you just put a frog face on it. I don't know.
And then gave him Gandalf's staff.
Yes,
because
and like
he's got this staff with like skulls on it too.
Yeah, he looked like he. You know what? I've seen this guy on Bourbon Street. This dude is 100% from New Orleans. He just has the skull staff, and he looks like he smelled like cigarettes and Jack Daniels. This is literally, nope. This is him. I saw him on Bourbon.
Quite frankly, we should have just called this episode Nightmare Fuel. Because I found a picture I think I'm going to try to send to you now.
Okay.
We're not sleeping tonight.
For my people that are for my people that want to watch Return of the Jedi now, because this Jabba's palace is incredible, and I'll get into more detail later about that. But
which shot is it?
Okay, so the shot he's at is whenever I don't know who. I'm trying to think of it now. Who Jabba would be talking to? It might have been R2 and 3PO, maybe, I don't know. But they show a shot of Solo, and he's still in carbonite, and it's one of the few shots that like actually like move over and kind of transition into that shot of Solo hanging on in the carbonite, and like he's just on the right corner of the how do you say, the archway. So be on the lookout for him. You see his staff and the hair hanging off his staff, and he's got a daiquiri in his hand from 504 daiquiris on bourbon. Anyway,
and it just looked for like a giant snaky looking flat headed dude.
Did you send me the picture? You did. That's horrible.
Imagine,
that's awful.
Scott, that's going to be at the end of your bed tonight saying, "Hey, you want to come with me?"
Yeah, meet me on bourbon. We're going to get some chicken wings and Crystal Burger. Yeah, exactly. For real.
Can you pay for my Uber?
Gosh.
Can you pay for my Uber? I don't think I have the cash. I don't have pants.
That is
horrifyingly long fingers too. Horrifyingly long fingers. I wanted to see these guys in anime. I hope they someday finish those unfinished Clone Wars arcs, because these guys also get around by rolling.
What?
They roll up like a droideka, like a destroyer droid.
Yeah,
and can roll at a fast pace.
That is unbelievable.
Go watch Crystal Crisis. Go watch those 4 episodes.
I was not expecting it to get to this extent, but my God, did you really bring the bacon? This is such a strange character.
I went deep, my man.
Okay,
so but Scott, what is fueling your nightmares and your number 6 spot?
Okay, so number 1. So in all honesty, this one does not fuel my nightmares so much so that it actually really makes me enjoy the Jawas a lot more. Okay, now this is for the people who've listened to it from a certain point of view, right? And my character is Jot the Jawa. Now I don't know if you remember about Jot, but Jot's the Jawa that takes. He's supposed to wipe all the memories of the droids that come onto the sandcrawler. So
I know you're talking about now.
Yeah, I know you do. So Jot, he might be in the background of A New Hope. So that's how I kind of came up with this one. But Jot his job was to literally go and wipe the memories of these droids, but he would sometimes take the memories, put them in his jacket all day, and then at night when he was supposed to be sleeping, he would stay up and he would watch the memory files, and he would go through all these people, and that's the only way he could really discover the universe, because he was stuck to his sandcrawler. But Jot at one point finds R2's memory unit, and this is no exaggeration. When they told that story, it perfectly summed up the prequels and everything that led up to the prequels, and it made me very emotional, because and it showed how happy and how excited Jot was to be able to experience what R2 experienced. And the best thing about it is Jot's like, oh my gosh, I can't wipe this droid's memory. This droid has to finish the job, because at the end he finds the plans for the Death Star, and he says how scared he is whenever he sees it. And it's dude, it is such a good listen. If you have the audiobook, or if you have the book, I don't know, but the audiobook tells it so perfectly with the music, and Jot is really, honest to God, one of my favorite canon stories ever. So
that's so awesome.
I think about Jot's story anytime, like that most recent Galaxies of Adventures thing, and it had all the the Sith versus the Jedi. That one that was so good. It made me think of Jot's story because like he talked about seeing Anakin getting married, or R2 seeing Anakin get married. And he watched it, and he talked about how he watched R2's memories that dealt with him destroying the droidicas and like the super droids, super battle droids. Like I don't know, like it's something about that is really freaking awesome. So
that's so awesome.
He was mine, yeah.
That's a great pick because seriously, and I think you don't have to make it work just because you think he's in the background of A New Hope. He's a background character in the book, and that is I will take that, sir. That's beautiful and awesome. And seriously, after you listen to this episode and if you haven't listened to or read that book yet, go get it because it's chock full of great stories from background characters. And a couple of weird ones, but still great. But again, that's what we love about this. That is awesome. I love it.
I'm glad you liked it. I'm eager to hear your next one.
Okay, well, I already did my number 7. We had Ben Quadraneros as a special little thing. So I'm going to move on to my number 8.
Okay.
My number 8 is Cy Snoodles.
Oh, I just love her little voice, in there. I forgot how it sounds, but it's like
a sweet little Palawak.
She is a Palawak.
Amazing.
I love the puppet. I love the CG version.
The puppet's really good.
I love the CG version inside of the Clone Wars as well. The Clone Wars animated version.
Yeah.
In fact, that fleshed out the character. Who knew we were going to get such a deep dive into
exactly into
the
relationship,
Cy Snoodles,
and her relationship with what's that Hutt? New Orleans the Hutt. That's what Black Series Rebels calls him.
Zero the Hutt. I forget what they call him, but I agree with them.
They call him New Orleans the Hutt.
New Orleans the Hutt. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I can't agree with them more. If we're talking about our least favorite background characters, Zero the Hutt is top of the list.
So obnoxious. That's amazing impersonation. So you got Cy Snoodles. That's a really good pick because it's so funny when I was watching because I have the despecialized editions on Blu-ray that I got from the internet, and that part when Cy Snoodles comes up, all she could do is like pop her kneecap back and forth, and it's the funniest. It's like she's like just bouncing up and down, whereas the special edition version looks really good. But
Elvis had his hips.
Yes.
And, Michael Jackson did the moonwalk.
Yes.
Cy Snoodles pops her knee back and forth. And that is it. That's all the Hutts can handle. That's all they can handle.
That's it. That's a really good pick, though. I really like that one.
Thank you. What is snoodling around is your number 7?
I can't stand you.
I can't. It's awful. Forgive me. What's your number 7?
I thought it was pretty good. No, I thought it was good. My next one is our friend Argus Panox from Solo, Old Six Eyes.
Oh,
really,
okay.
Such a cool character. And funny enough, the only reason why I chose him was I went to I think it's like behind the special effects or something. It was costumes, creatures, and something. I really don't remember, but it was a panel.
The panel, right.
It was a panel that was on Saturday morning, if I'm not mistaken. Me and Katie went to it, and they brought the actual mask from the movie out. And I kid you not, even if I had seen Solo and I saw that walking around like my neighborhood, the eye movement, that none of that was CG, and I did not realize that. Every bit of that was actually done with animatronics, and like, do yourself a favor, see if you can find any clips from that panel. I actually took a video of it. I can send it or post it on Twitter for anyone to see. It is the most incredible. It is the most incredible, I guess you would say, animatronic I have ever seen in my entire life. It is so incredible how they maneuvered the eyes, and everything you saw in Solo is 100% real. It's crazy, but yeah, that for special effects reasons only is such an incredible looking creature.
That is awesome. I love that character too. He reminds me of. I'm going to get it. You know what? I'm not going to spoil anything yet, but I love and I saw I think a small clip of how they did the animatronics, and it is amazing how much animatronics is done in these new movies and what they can do with animatronics. Just mind blowing. So fantastic pick. I was so close, Scott, to pick not him, but picking. I was watching Solo and I was like watching through the card game again, going, who's the weirdo in here that I love the most? Because it's such a great weirdo scene, and I don't know. I can't remember if I put that on the poll we put up on Twitter the other day, but just that's such a great scene.
Yeah,
with so many beautiful, and Six Eyes is the best with that whole like interaction with Han where he turns one of his eyes to his eyes on your cards, all of them. So perfect. I love it.
It's so perfect. So, speaking of keeping your eyes on your cards, I don't know where I was going with that.
What's my number 9, you ask?
Yeah, speaking of keeping eyes on your number 9, what's your number 9, I guess?
I was just saying, I think we're off on numbers a little bit because I ended up having one shared with you, so we'll just keep going back and forth.
No, it's all good.
I actually have an honorable mention, so it'll work out.
Excellent.
I cheated. No. Number 9 for me, and the whole of the internet suddenly cried out in terror.
Here we go.
Lady Proxima.
Whoa. Dude, I love Lady Proxima.
Okay, see, I thought you might.
Character.
Because we are on the same. You guys might think after this episode we're not, but Scott and me are actually on the same page on a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I hear so many people talk about how they really don't like Lady Proxima. It's not the character design, it's the voice. They wanted her to talk like Moloch, who was the smaller enforcer who chases after Han and Kira. Which I love him too, and I love that he spoke that language. It's like classic Star Wars. But what I love about people, like, it just doesn't feel Star Wars. It feels too prequel-ish whenever they do that. And I'm sorry, but I think it's a fleshed out world. If there are some, and it's also kind of neat when you have something that looks like that.
I completely
agree. Starts talking in a voice you can understand. It's so, there's something about it that's so, it's almost like Neverending Story meets like,
I was going to say that. It looks
Star
very
Wars.
80s.
It's very 80s. It's
80s
very
practical.
Labyrinth. Yeah. And also, I love how the Clone Wars, they had to do it because, most of their audience couldn't read. But, and that's no slight on anyone. It's just, it was on Cartoon Network. I love that there were aliens speaking regular basic.
Yeah.
But I just love her character design. I love the voice. I forget. Forgive me for not doing my research and getting the lady's name. She's actually a phenomenal character actress. But she did such a phenomenal job at Lady Proxima, and my goodness, just like that whole scene.
That whole sequence is phenomenal.
That whole scene got me so ready. I'm like, this is Han Solo. This is Han. The whole thing with the rock as a detonator too. It's perfect. It's a thermal detonator. That's a rock.
It's so awesome. And I can't agree more with you, dude. It's that character. When I first saw him, or her, I guess, I was kind of like, it's one of the few times in these new movies that I've been like, wow, how mysterious, how odd.
Yes.
And that
really Han has always been working for like slugs and worms.
Yeah. I never noticed that.
It's so true to his character.
Gosh, it's amazing.
And he's always
amazing.
That's one thing I love about Han Solo. He's always interacting with like characters that we would be like, "What are you?" He's like talking to them like they're Joe Schmo on the street,
exactly,
and not blinking an eye. That's why it's awesome, guys.
It's so awesome. And then if you think about it from this perspective too, the fact that like their whole entire base had to be dark for her and Moloch to survive is really cool, and it kind of, you don't realize that till after watching it a second time. You're like, oh, no wonder it's so dark. And I always thought how cool that movie was, and I'm sure you noticed this too. That movie gradually, its visuals and its color goes from dark to light. Like, it really does. And by the end, when they're
so fantastic.
They're at the island planet with Lando, doing Symbolic one last time, and like it's the brightest part of the movie. It like almost hurts your eyes.
Yeah.
And like it's I don't know. It's kind of cool tonally and visually how it works. But that's a really good pick, dude. I'm
Thank you.
I did not think about Lady Proxima. That would have been one of mine if I thought about her. That's fantastic.
Well, and may I give a shout out real quick? The actress's name is Linda Hunt.
Okay.
And
I've heard of that.
Her picture, she looks really familiar. She honestly, the picture she has on IMDb looks like who's the lady on The Incredibles who makes their costumes?
Dang it.
I need to call Allison in here because she like loves The Incredibles.
I forget her name.
But she looks like her. Like,
that's hilarious. That's amazing.
But also, may I add, hashtag make Solo 2 happen. Let's go. And again, let's get that Disney Plus streaming series.
Yeah.
Give me what happened to Kira and Maul. It doesn't have to be young Han Solo. You can just give me what happened to Kira, Maul, and Lando.
It could be 15 minutes.
But also, I love Alden. Give me more Alden as Han Solo and Chewbacca. Please, please, please. Okay.
Make Solo 2 happen.
Hashtag make Solo 2 happen.
Jerry, that was a great pick. My next one is more for comical purposes, and because he's in my favorite Star Wars movie, and that is Popolo the Ewok from Return of the Jedi. And
beautiful.
For people that don't know, that is the Ewok that steals the speeder bike and just drives off, and the scout troopers are like, "Hey, get him!" And then they all go, and it's just so perfect, and it's
so beautiful.
It's so childish, and it reminds me of like Hook. It has the same feel as that. So like, I don't know,
absolutely.
It's like that character alone just kind of starts off the Battle of Endor, really, if you think about it. So I'm thankful for Popolo and what he did, the sacrifice he made. But that's just a brief intro. It's just a good character. But who's your next one, Jer?
Well, he's okay. He didn't sacrifice himself. He swung out of there, so he's okay.
He did.
But I love that too, man. It's straight up a 80s adventure movie. I love that.
It's just such a good plot point. Like, how do we get to this next part? One of them steals something, and you're like, oh, okay, we'll add that in.
I love that. And classic Han Solo, well, we'll improvise.
Yep.
You said don't improvise. Okay, sorry.
Hey, it's me. That's actually my favorite line Han Solo ever said.
I love that. I love that. Then the like smug look at Han and Leia, or Han or Leia and Luke give each other. So great.
So great. Okay, so your next one.
My next one, and this is my number 10. Like I said, I think you might have a couple more left. But my number 10 is probably one of my favorite characters for a long time. Probably one of my oldest favorite characters, besides, I think, Cy Snoodles, maybe even before her.
Okay.
It is. I was so excited when an action figure came out in the 90s, and I think it might have been the early 2000s too. It is Yeez.
Hold on, let me look him up.
Look him up. I can tell you exactly who he is.
Wait, Jerry, I don't know if you remember this, but Yeez, wasn't Yeez a Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Do you remember when we were looking at action figures?
Yes,
right
the uncarded ones.
Yes.
And there was like a box that's
yes, a box of Yeez, and me and Katie were looking at them and we were laughing because we were like, of all the characters, this person has like several Kenner Yeez. Oh no, I'm sorry, Power of the Force Yeez.
Well, no, it was the original Kenner.
Oh, it was the Kenner one. Yep, exactly.
Wow. It was a lot of like uncarded, loose Return of the Jedi action figures, and the tote was basically half Yeez.
Yes,
and it was beautiful. I didn't have the money to drop on it at that point, but
that's hilarious.
I actually made fun of that in my video. I don't know if you watched my celebration recap where I talked about the stuff. Like, give me all of the Yeez was like a line from my video.
I do remember that. I need to go back. That's amazing.
I love that. I just because it's such a random character, but he's a Gran.
Okay.
He kind of looks like a cow. He honestly. I think that him and Six Eyes, I can't remember his actual name that you said.
Rex, it's
Rex
Argus Panox. Argus Panox.
Okay.
Panox.
Yeah, him.
They look very similar.
They're like, it's like if you took Yeez's eyes and doubled them and put them on the side of his head.
Yes.
And so that's why I think they're like, because what we've seen with alien species in Star Wars is they can have multiple variations. Even the Gungans
Yeah.
We have our namesake is Jar Jar Binks, but we also love Boss Nass here.
Yes.
And Boss Nass is technically another race of Gungans.
Yeah.
So
I also like
go.
Reese's
Fun
hands.
facts.
They look like some sort of boxing glove with fingers on them, with
it's
noodles
like
on them.
It's like giant ramen noodle hot dog hands.
That's a great pick, dude. And
he has suction cup fingers too.
Yes, and I'm
on
pretty
the end
sure
of those sausage fingers.
there's a deleted scene maybe, or him and Yakface either get into it, or I don't know. But I'm looking
there
at a
might
photo.
be that. But there's an actual scene on the sail barge where like
yep.
they're laughing and he's like hitting, I think it's Yakface on the head,
Yes.
just like giving him a couple knocks on the head.
Yes, and Salacious Crumb is in Yakface's hand. It looks like.
Yeah.
Very weird.
It's
Very
so strange. So strange.
That's a really good pick, though.
Thank you.
Because that brought me back to Celebration. I forgot how funny that was whenever you said that.
That was
because
we had a blast talking about that too.
That was
so much
awesome.
fun.
That is awesome.
But Scott, tell me, are you on number 9?
I think I'm on number 9. But my
Tell
next
me
one,
your number 9 pick.
mine is not Luiski Papanodia. You know who that is?
Ooh,
That
I
is
think I know because
George Lucas's character from
I
Revenge
almost
of the
picked
Sith.
this. I
No, you did
almost
not.
picked it. I almost picked Baron Papanoida because he pops up in the Clone Wars too.
Yes, not Luiski, which I'm pretty sure is not Lucas, Papanoidia. So we've got, I
That's
believe he's some
awesome.
sort of delegate or something, but
Yeah. He's the chairman of. You find out in the Clone Wars
creative
he's
something.
the chairman of what's the planet with all the blue people? Not the Chiss.
Not the Chiss, but
The
they
other
actually
blue
mentioned
people.
that. He is
it's
from
not Pandora,
Pantoran.
I almost-
No, it's
Pantoran.
Pantoran.
Pandora,
But-
yeah, not Pandora. With more
He has
blue
such a great
people.
intro. He is the chairman of the Pantora Assembly during the Clone Wars. He
Yes.
apparently, let's see, he says he is known for the frequent finest auditoriums and holo entertainment venues, including the Galaxy's Opera House and Euskura Entertainment District. He, pretty sure it says somewhere on his thing that he enjoys writing or something. But
Right.
yes, he actually is a full-on episode in Clone Wars. If you haven't watched it yet, it's a really good episode. And
Very good.
yeah, I just thought he was a great character because he's the maker, and we talked about makers last week. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and if you want to see a picture of George Lucas in some Star Wars makeup, there you go. And it's actually a really great costume design that I feel like really fits George Lucas. So, yeah,
It's a regal, beautiful costume.
yeah, it's beautiful. So we got not Luiski Papanoidia. Jerry, I want to hear your
Love it.
final honorable mention, bud, or I guess your number 10, really.
My honorable mention is a character that I really didn't know about till I started Googling and looking
Okay.
up and trying
Yeah.
doing my research. His name is Kane Adis.
Kane Adis. All right, let me look up this one.
I was gonna send you a picture that I found that's absolutely horrifying as well.
Oh my God! What
are you
in
seeing what
the world?
May I describe him?
Yes, that is the. Oh my God!
This was in Jabba's palace as well. I haven't spotted him and his companion yet. I believe it's 2 of them. I sent you the picture that I found.
Okay, yeah.
Kane Adis was described in the article I found as a quote deformed nightmare giraffe.
Deformed nightmare giraffe is so true.
It is literally a head, a weird head on a stalk, and a friend that is a weird head on a stalk. Their heads are kind of shaped like the aliens from Alien, with
What?
goofy doofy faces on the end of them, and they have long necks, and they are covered in giraffe spots, but not fur. It's
That
like
is the creepiest. That is. Oh, you have found the most unsettling background creature. I commend
hello?
you.
I'm Kane Adis.
Oh my!
Can you help me get under this door? My neck's
It looks-
too long.
It's so uncomfortable. Oh
I-
my God!
I'm going to apologize in advance for for ruining your entire night of sleep tonight.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like, he looks like the kind of thing you would find, like, if you turned over a rock and you're like, nope, and you turn the rock back over. You're like, I am not ever looking at that. This is so bizarre.
What is that, a lamprey?
And the funniest thing is, the Uvarans, apparently a species, has an unbelievable entry on the Legends.
No way.
Yes, it's so long. It's
I didn't Wikipedia him. I found him on the official Star Wars website in an article.
There's a BTS shot of them making him, and it's such a... I've honestly never seen this character. I've seen every one of the ones you listed. That is the most profoundly ugly creature ever. Wow. Okay, well, thank you for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome. Scotty, I'm seeing, I was just going to Google and I just got distracted, so I need to be careful. There's a Canadis action figure.
No.
And I must have it.
I know your Christmas gift. Yep.
Well, looks like I know what I'm Googling. My goodness, that is horrifying and I love it. It's
oh my gosh.
It's so weird.
The world.
It points it out behind Lando whenever he's bringing Leia forward after she's revealed to be in the Bouche outfit.
Oh
Bouche.
My gosh.
But now I'm gonna be like watching Return of the Jedi even closer and like
Me
pausing,
too.
trying to find this guy and his. I think he's got two heads. It is one body from the action figure and two heads.
Oh my gosh.
And what I read about him on there was he was kind of an outcast from his family because apparently they're homebodies and he wanted to go out and explore the universe.
Yeah, I'd hope they'd stay at home. My gosh.
So that's my my honorable mention. But Scotty, tell me your number 10.
My final one, and so funny. Apparently, going through my photos, I only picked 9, but my final one is Boba Fett. So Boba, I'm pretty sure, has more lines than Boba Fett, now that I think about it. So, there you go. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
No, in all seriousness, I really do, and my cousin actually picked this one. We're going to end up going through the fan opinions as well, and I can't wait to get into those. But
I'm so excited.
My cousin picked IG-88, and I have to agree with him. IG-88 is such an interesting character, and
I like it.
And I really hope, and I'm pretty sure from the footage I saw at the Mandalorian panel, we will be getting some IG action. I don't know if it's him, but the craziest part, guess who's going to be playing that droid? Did you know who's going to be playing him?
I know who's rumored. I didn't know. Has it been confirmed?
Taika Waititi. I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed.
That would be brilliant.
There's a shot of Taika in front of a green screen or in front of a microphone with that IG droid right there. And it's just, I couldn't even imagine. I literally can't wait to hear like Korg, like, oh, okay, mate, and
don't shoot some stormtroopers, all right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Where's Meek, And
I thought you were dead.
Oh, that was funny you say that. I just watched Endgame again. I saw it over the weekend, and
I love that part where they come in.
Hey, Thor, he's back. It's like he's like, is it Noob Hunter 69 or whatever? And it's like, yeah, he's back. You want to talk to him?
Talk to him, Thor.
And then he hands the headset back. He goes, "Thank you, Thor."
That's so awesome.
But
great.
I love a good IG droid. In the one shot I saw from the Mandalorian panel, we actually see an IG droid like spinning around. His head stays the same direction and just shooting in all directions. I'm so excited.
I want to see it so bad.
I'm so excited for that show. It's going to be so good. Oh my gosh. But yep, that's my final pick, and I'm so happy we could do this, man, and get to these background characters. Did you want to add anything else to this, Gerry?
Absolutely not. Let's continue this train right now. Let's go on to the next thing. I want to hear what the people have to say.
Okay, so actually, real quick, before we get into the Twitterverse's opinions and comments on the actual thread we made itself, we had, of course, an incredible audio recording come in through our friend Anthony, and I'm talking about the one and only Rural Farm Boy. You ready to hear this recording, Gerry?
Let's hear it.
All right, Big Gerry, let's make it happen.
I'll do Scotty and Gerry. It's Anthony. Yep, that Rural Farm Boy. So this week, Bombad boys are talking secondary background characters in Star Wars stories. For me, some of mine, I'm pretty partial to droids and stormtroopers, both. Some favorites of mine that are pretty momentary, but just for me, I like all the same. CZ3, that's a protocol droid we see when Luke and Ben's leaving the cantina to go sell Luke's land speeder, and he's kind of limping along through one of them back alleys in Mos Eisley. Yeah, and there's another one that's CZ4, where you can see pretty much most of his top half in the Sandcrawler. He's got the same body and the same head. And here's a little trivia fact for you, that CZ3 in Mos Eisley was also played by Anthony Daniels. You know that?
Mm-hmm. I do now.
Also, those RA-7 Imperial Protocol droids, like the one that passes by when Luke and Han are in Stormtrooper armor taking Chewbacca to the detention block. Yeah, I always like those. And we even see him again in Solo, A Star Wars Story, where he gets took out by Moloch's truck speeder when he was trying to stop him from going through that gate. And see him again in Rogue One. One gets left on Jeddah as that Star Destroyer Dauntless is leaving. And see him again on Scarif in the Citadel Tower. So that's some of my favorites, and really want to listen to what all other folks is going to send. And I look forward to you showing my playlist, my friends. Until that time, may the force be with you both. See you on the radio.
He's the best.
I love you, Anthony. You are the man.
He's the best.
Seriously.
He is the best. He is like my favorite. There's two people I like seeing every day, and it's Neil, the positive Star Wars guy, and him
Neil
showing up on my
Lowry.
feed. Yeah, Neil Lowry. I mean, like, legitimately, there's two people that I love to see every morning, and it's them two. So thank you for your response, Anthony.
Yes, thank you so much, Anthony. You seriously are such an encouragement to us. And, dude, Anthony is just such a great supporter of podcasts, like Star Wars podcasts. He is just, he's such a cool guy. Like, it's so awesome what you do supporting fan-made stuff. So thanks, Anthony. Also, hashtag make Solo 2 happen.
Make Solo 2 happen and bring back that droid. I have to say that droid model in particular is one of my favorites as well. And I do enjoy the I forget what he says in the Solo, where he runs out and he has the little pad in his hand. He's like, "Wait,
this is not the correct protocol."
And then he gets ran over by Moloch. It's just so excellent. And Anthony, thank you for writing. And also, for anyone that's like listening with headphones on, Anthony's like in this beautiful like nature world.
I know.
It's like he's deep in a cabin somewhere and in the mountains.
Like I needed
it's unbelievable.
I felt like I needed to start meditating whenever I started hearing the birds. It's so peaceful.
They're so peaceful. So for anyone with headphones on, I hope you actually got some sleep just now. And that was like so serene and like wonderful. But yeah, we've actually got, besides Anthony recording in, we got some really awesome poll results back too. And we got some really awesome fan responses. So I'm going to go through the first one. We actually put a tweet out that says, which scene of Background Aliens and Weirdos is your fave? Comment why, and maybe we'll talk about it in the show. So, we have 4 options: Mos Eisley Cantina, Jabba's Palace, Maz's Castle, and Canto Bight. Funny enough, I voted for Canto Bight. I love that sequence.
I love that sequence.
Let me see. I did vote for Canto Bight. Now, which one did you vote for, Gerry? Or I guess maybe you can't enter. I don't know.
I don't know that I actually voted in my own poll.
Yeah.
I should have like done it on just my regular Twitter profile. I almost said my Facebook profile. That would have been really funny. But I think it's got to be between Jabba's Palace and Maz's Castle. I just really love those. I don't know. I probably would go Jabba's Palace.
Yeah, Jabba's Palace is.
I love we don't have what we have today without the Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yep.
But you know me, I've got to be the hipster and choose the thing that everyone hates. I'm just kidding. Jabba's Palace is just so chock full. I love it. They like doubled down in Jabba's Palace.
I completely agree. And then we had some more options for like an unattached thread, and the other 3 options were the Boonty Eve Pod Race, the Space Sports Bar from Attack the Clones,
which is the Outlander Club. I finally remembered.
Oh,
it's called
that's
the
a good
Outlander.
name.
I know, and I was like, Come on, I'm a terrible fan. Anyway, go on.
That's a good name. And Dryden's Yacht was the final one. I chose Dryden's Yacht because I love that sequence, but the one that ultimately won was the Boonta Eve pod race.
Yes.
The Boonta Eve. I didn't tell you, the Mos Eisley Cantina won also with 48% for the that vote, the previous vote. But yeah, the Boonta Eve pod race is such a classic scene to me.
Yes.
Such a classic scene. So that
It's
was
so good.
that
Well,
was
and
my choice.
It was. I love the pod race, and honestly, I would probably go with. Oh man, I might have to go with that too because I don't know. Dryden's Yacht is just so. That's chock full of interesting things. There's like a little gremlin.
Hold on,
eating,
Jerry, I think I lost
eating
you.
hors d'oeuvres. Oh, did you lose me?
Where is my...
Hello.
Yeah, no, I'm back. I got you. We're good.
Okay, cool.
Can you hear me? Okay, cool.
Everything's fine here. We're all fine here. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm back.
Well, okay, boring
sorry.
conversation anyway.
Anyway.
No, you're good. But no, I love Dryden's Yacht, and there's there is the gremlin eating hors d'oeuvres, is what I said.
It's so cool, but it is like really a gremlin. That was like such a cool practical effect that kind of took me off guard. I'm like, dude invited him, like what a weird little creature. But yeah, no, that's a really good one. That's a really good choice. But we actually had some really awesome write-ins. Do you care if we go through those, bud?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we had Carl Steiger, formerly known as Darth Hurricane, right in. He says, I have to go through Mos Eisley. Oh, this is actually about the places where these background characters would be. He wrote, I have to go to Mos Eisley, although it was done bigger and better in some other films. There's definitely a nostalgia with the original one that will always hold a place in my heart.
Beautiful.
Which I completely agree with.
Yeah, like I said, we wouldn't have all the weirdos we have today if it wasn't for the Mos Eisley Cantina
Exactly.
and their werewolf masks.
And the werewolf mask. And Jerry, read the entry from our buddy Scott Murray at Mr. Scott Murray.
Scott Murray. All right. Well, I love that we have the gif from Rural Farm Boy on here too. Anthony,
Yes,
calling out my
I
boy.
forgot to
Vote
mention
now.
that.
Vote now.
Now.
Love that. Love that. But Scott Murray at Mr. Scott Murray tweets. I'll get it right one of these days. Return of the Jedi continues to be my favorite film of the saga. It's it's also the OT film I vividly remember seeing in theaters. There was so much intrigue, the danger and drama surrounding that place. It gave us a lot of cool action figures too,
Yep.
and you are correct, my sir. And Kane Addis is going to live on my shelf someday.
Yeah, one day I will find it and send it to you.
I'm gonna find that and then find a nice bowl to set over the top of him when I have to go to sleep because I don't want him looking at me or turn him to face the other direction. So.
I completely agree. Our next one's from Alden Diaz, and also deals with our boy Reese, I guess, to a certain extent. How to go to Jabba's palace on this one. All great answers, but the palace is just a peak fantasy in Star Wars, and I completely agree with that statement.
Yes,
a complete
absolutely.
adventure short film within an adventure feature, and every creature feels dangerous and gross, or at the very least, morally bankrupt. It gave us Max Rebo rock and roll fingers, Def Leppard, baby. But I completely agree with that statement, Alton. To have like, it almost feel like a mini movie inside of a movie is exactly how I feel about Return of the Jedi. It feels like two separate films. So I completely agree, man. But yeah, what'd you think of that, Jerry?
Oh gosh, I agree. Like I said, Jabba's Palace is probably the one I would have voted for because we did get so much, and I love what you're saying that every creature feels dangerous and gross.
It's hilarious.
But as we also found out tonight, deeply unsettling and horrifying.
Yes.
There's so much good stuff in Jabba's Palace, so much unique weirdness. It's
excellent.
Perfect. It's really perfect, and Max Rebo is the man. So
the absolute man.
but Scotty, we also have our good friend Rogue Squad 2.
Yeah.
At Rogue Squad 2, Rogue _ Squad 2. And he says, Mos Eisley introduces all these amazing species that you get to see later in other movies and animated shows. The first time you see it, you just want to rewatch it to see what is in the background. It's so true. Plus, if you read Star Wars from a certain point of view, you learn some backstory. It's very true. I love how much you reference certain point of view tonight. Because if you seriously, I know some people kind of like critique it as it was absolutely nothing. Like, what was the point of that book? The point was that it's this. I love the back information too. But I know a lot of people were critiquing that for that reason. This is the reason though why. It's just we love these backstory
Yeah.
these weirdos. But I've got to say, I don't know if I need to go to this if I ever make it to another celebration that Pablo Hidalgo and Tom Spina from Tom Spina Designs and Regal Robot do. Have you heard about their? They do a panel that Blast Points goes to every time, where they look at all the humans of the Mos Eisley Cantina and talk about who played them, and like just kind of give a little bit of information on the people who played them and talk about that. But then, Scott, they pick people from the audience and name the character after you, or let you name that character, because most of them are unnamed. It's like
No way.
it's half of the patrons in the bar, and it's that are the humans that are just weird, and they come from a casting agency called Only Ugly or something, or like it was.
That's amazing.
It's something you don't see anymore. You would only see in the '60s because those poor people. But
yeah, that's incredible.
that's where they got Dr. Evazan though, and all that was from that.
Wow.
They Blast Point. Listen to Blast Point's Humans of the King.
Okay.
Episode that came out last week, guys. Shout out to Blast Points. Seriously, check them out. But anyway, Scott, who's next? Who we got here?
We got Joshua Blumel. I don't have where he's at, but Joshua Blumel, and he wrote Mos Eisley. It's from my favorite Star Wars movie. Also, my favorite weirdo of all time is Ponda Baba, a.k.a. Walrus Man. And I do love Ponda Baba. I love his backstory in the Robot Chicken bits, too.
Yes.
Where he's like a cartographer or whatever. Not a cartographer. He's a what do they call it? He does some sort of planning or something. He uses his hands, and
Right.
since he lost it, he no longer has a job. But yeah, Ponda Baba, I love that Josh Blumel. Mos Eisley is a really awesome part, and it's the one few things like from the 70s that got parodied a lot, which I think is really cool. And my grandmother, still to this day, when I talk about Star Wars, she always tells me how much she loves that sequence, and I completely agree with the Mos Eisley Cantina. It really is awesome.
It's so classic, and I also love how Ponda Baba's hands change throughout
Yes.
the show. From
Yes,
flippers to hands to monkey
It's
hands.
amazing. To
It's
monkey
awesome.
hands. It's so awesome. But our next one we got from Jeff Porgbach at Lazy Wampa. What did he say, Jared?
Well, our good buddy Jeff, good
Yeah.
to hear from you at Lazy Wampa. He says, has to be Mos Eisley Cantina, another one for the Cantina. I mean, come on. I was 7 or 8 years old when I saw A New Hope in theaters, and to a kid that age, those were some of the weirdest weirdos
Yes.
I've seen. Well, besides my friends, which was excellent add-on there, sir. And
That's awesome.
the name of his podcast too. I think it's Blue Milk on the Rocks.
Okay.
But check out.
Yeah.
If I'm getting that, I'm sorry if I'm calling out the wrong one, Jeff. But Jeff, go check out Jeff and hit him up and ask him about his podcast.
Totally.
Let's
Totally. Thank you for writing in, Jeff.
Yes.
Our next one is from someone named Sarah Hass at SEH221, and they wrote, "The lack of respect for Canto Bite in these answers is appalling, shaking my head." And I agree with that. I love the Canto Bite sequence.
I'm down with some Canto Bite love. You gotta give it some love.
Even Mark Hamill played someone in the Canto Bite sequence. He played that little
Yes.
guy with the coins. Like, come on.
The little drunk.
The drunk
I'm
guy.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember the name. It's a funny name.
It is. Isn't it like Mark Hamill backwards or something?
Oh,
It's
it's
something
something like
clever.
that.
And then our next write-in we got from our friend Scott Gibson. What did Scott Gibson have to say, Jerry?
Scotty Gibbs. All right. Scott Gibson says, and I loved this.
Such a good answer.
Mr. Bones, I performed violence. I'm trying to do the best because I listened to the audiobook, and that's the sing-songy voice they did. I love it.
That's amazing.
Mr. Bones is a fantastic choice, Scott. I think I'm the one like on that one. I don't know. I seriously agree with you so much. Just such an awesome character that was like, I didn't know if I liked him at first, but grew to like him through the first book of the Aftermath series. But see, if you haven't read that series, power through the first one so you get to know the characters and love them. And
exactly
on to the other two, because the second one is like the liberation of Kashyyyk, and then the battle.
Oh, it's awesome.
The last one, it's so amazing. The last
so awesome
of the Galactic Civil War. What happens after our Return of the Jedi? So just
fantastic,
great, guys. So awesome. Thanks, Scott.
Our next write-in comes from someone called Scotty Jero at the
Who
Scott
is
Jero.
that?
That guy
I
looks
know
like a
that
jerk.
guy. I know
Look
that
at
guy.
his smile.
Look at
that
his
smile's
mug.
awful.
Look at that mean mug.
You know, funny enough, Jerry, you know that
What's
photo
that?
was taken? Do you know where that photo was taken?
Where?
When we were sitting there having dinner on the last day of celebration before you drove back home.
No
that photo was
way.
actually, yes, taken
When
right
I
there.
shared my gigantic
Yes, nachos.
like pan of nachos. They brought out a cookie sheet full of nachos. I was not expecting that.
Yes, it was delicious.
Portion or the large? I'll take the large. Big's it gonna be? Oh, it's shareable. It's shareable. Anyway,
That's all they said. Yeah, so Scotty, I guess I wrote in.
what does Scott say?
That I said Figure and Dan and the modal nodes have always held a special place in my heart,
Yeah,
and I
buddy.
do. I love that. I love those characters and the music and even the song that you don't really think about. Not the. Dun, 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 dun. I love it all, and then I love the. It's so jazzy and just a great set of characters. So
You know
was
what
my
that
extras.
what that kind of music is called in universe, right?
Oh yeah, isn't it called Jizz Jazz?
It's like Jizz Whalen or something,
Jizz Whalen.
or just Jizz, and that is all we're gonna say about that.
Yes, exactly. So the next write-in is from our friend Todd de Grussier. And
What's
what did he have to
up?
say, Jerry?
Todd, my man, at Todd Knows Best, said, "Gotta show some love to unknown headbanging stormtroopers. Such a random error in the movies, but one of my favorite character moments to point out to people. It's
Yep.
so great. It's so great.
It's so great.
Pointed that out to Allison recently, and she was,
Yeah.
I can't believe that happened. That's so funny. It's amazing that A New Hope works. But
It's incredible.
Well,
It
and-
almost makes no sense.
I love that, Todd. I love that you're giving some love to a fellow stormtrooper, because I know you are a stormtrooper as well yourself, sir. So
Yep.
that's great, and I love also how disputed. Like, there are like 5 guys who say they're this headbanging stormtrooper.
And the fact that there's no like true,
Yeah.
like answer to that is pretty awesome. But
It's
I
crazy.
agree with that. I agree with that. Totally. Great write-in, bud.
So great.
Our next one is from All Systems Remaining, Michael. I didn't see what ad it's from. I'm sorry, the screenshots cut it off. But they say, not sure why, but I'm a big fan of Bazine Natal. Now, Bazine Natal is the female that's in Maz's castle that ends up calling the First Order and telling them about the missing BB-8 droid, the BB droid. But
She drops her
incredible-
favorite anime title too. She's
Yes.
Gundam. Sorry.
So funny you say that. The actress that portrayed her looks just like the singer Saint Vincent to me. I don't know if you listen to Saint Vincent, but yeah. So
I've heard
like,
some of their stuff.
yes. So that's how I feel about that one.
Well, and if you love, Bazine Natal, All Remaining Systems, if you haven't checked out her, I'm trying to remember the name of. She has a short story.
yes, she does. She does.
It's like an audio book, and you look it up. I think it's on iTunes, but there is a short story that is all about her and why her fingertips are black and all that.
Ooh.
Actually, surprisingly, Rishi Eel Inc.
Oh wow.
In the guide, the Pablo Hidalgo's Guide to the Force Awakens, it's Rishi Eel Inc. So those things that kill all the that kill cut up in that episode, what is it, Recruits or whatever? Trying to
Yeah.
the Clone Wars where they're on the Rishi outpost. Those eel things, it's Rishi Eel Inc. that she's got.
That's
her fingers.
crazy.
It's like poison. She uses it to poison people. Anyway.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Great,
she's
great
bad.
write-in. Great write-in on Remaining
Yes.
Systems. I really appreciate that one. But we started another thread later that dealt with just background characters in general. And this is one's from Tom de Grussier again. He says, "Gotta be the bounty hunters. So many of them had few to no lines in the films, yet are so well known. Plus all extra content we get from the Clone Wars and Dark Disciple about them was awesome. Hopefully we will see a few pop up in The Mandalorian, and I think we will, bud." And he used a specific gif of wow, why is my name blanking?
Bosk.
Yeah, Bosk, yeah. So Boss got a lot of roles in the Clone Wars, so that was
That's the sound he
I
makes.
love the way he talks. That's an excellent one. That's a really awesome one. But great write-in, bud. I agree.
Awesome. All right, ElderPlug27 at ElderPlug27. Way to get your handle. Sorry, I won't.
Yes,
Sorry,
that's my cousin right there.
Sorry,
that's
John.
my cousin Troy.
Yeah, Elder
Shout out
Plug.
to
I said
Troy.
Elder Plug. I'm sorry, Elder Pug. I apologize, sir. IG-88 has to be one of my favorites. A droid that killed the people who made him, and his line of motto banned from being made. He stands out as a droid bounty hunter that has a lot of backstory. Can't wait to see more of him in The Mandalorian. Yes,
Me too.
like I would be so on board if it's him. I'm just so excited to see what that is. But just more of any of the bounty hunters for real.
Exactly.
I don't know. Is that from Legends? The backstory.
I think it might be from Legends right now because
That
I don't know if
sounds
there's anything
cool.
really confirmed yet. And yeah, I really need to do a deep dive on IG-88, but his design is just so incredible, and his head is in the cantina scene too.
Yeah,
so he's been repurposed,
serving drinks.
But a little hint to our viewers our viewers that listen all the time, we might have Elder Pog come up on an episode in the next couple of weeks. We'll see. But our next one we got a little write in from Rural Farm Boy. He tagged in some people to write in. So he said these fellows want to know who your favorite Star Wars background characters are. Thank you, Rural Farm Boy.
Thank you, buddy.
Our next one's from Danny. How do you say her name? I don't even know.
Chibigyon. I was gonna say, is it like Sheboygan, like Sheboygan, Michigan, from up here from? But I don't know.
Might be.
Sorry, Danny. Sorry.
We met Danny at Celebration, but Jerry, read her write-in.
All right, Danny said, I have to go with OP Pit. This dude literally is just minding his own business, yet the stormtroopers keep messing with him. And, not just the stormtroopers, but Kaz and his friends.
Yes, they're ruining it for him.
Yes, the way he expresses his frustrations is relatable. I really hope things improve for him in Season 2. I hope so. I'm trying to remember, I saw the first episode of Season 2 at Celebration. I'm not trying to flex. But
flex dog.
Me and Scott Gibby watched it, and oh man, it was so good. Just wait, Danny. It's so good. And I'm trying to remember I can't remember what OP Pit's part was in that, but remembering the premise of the episode, which I'm not going to talk about here because I want you to experience it when it comes out this fall.
Can't wait.
But the scenario of the episode, it was probably something hilarious. So I can't wait to watch it again.
Oh, awesome, man.
All right. So, hey, who we got next there, Scotty?
Our next one is from the Living Force podcast. It's such the most ridiculous Star Wars name that I did not know as an actual name. The person they chose is going to be Padok Draba Takak Sap Delat Rikti Nik Linki T Kai Vef Niki Nesavrif Lai Kek, also known as Pow from Rogue One. The cunning warrior spirit to storm Scarif with nothing but humans that are clearly out of their rebel minds. Brings hope to the other non-human revolutionaries who join the fight. The powerful Drabatan war cry. And yes, he's got just one big mouth, essentially, and little eyes.
It's just like basically a mouth like that.
Yes.
But what I love about whenever the AT-ATs, sorry, didn't mean to offend anybody. Or actually, it's the ACTs.
It's the AT-ACT.
The cargo ones.
Yep.
They show up. He says Carabast, which is
he does yell Carabast.
Oh, it is a shout out to Zeb from Rebels.
So awesome. So awesome.
Not only does he have Drabatan war cries, but he also has I'm blanking on everything. I'm a terrible canon junkie. I'm trying to remember Zeb's species.
He's dang it.
You know what it's just left me just now.
I got it. Hold on.
It's Zeb's species war cry as well. Anyway, who's next? I think.
Hold on. I'm looking up Zeb.
Okay,
Zeb is. Oh wait, it's showing me some sort of person that went missing. I don't know Zeb's species. I didn't look up the right thing.
We'll look it up. We'll post it on Twitter later. Don't hate it.
Gerard Bogman Stubbs wrote in Kid Adimundi. episode in the Clone Wars. In Legends, he was among the first Jedi to survive an encounter with Grievous. Great costuming, got a really funny meme, and bring in the flamethrowers.
Oh yeah, buddy.
A great and you know, that is one of my favorite memes. Does involve Kid Mundi. So yeah, great character. What an interesting character. Has 2 brains in his head. So pretty sick. Pretty sick, man.
Zeb is a Lasat. Sorry.
Lasat. Oh, that makes sense.
From
now.
Lasan.
Okay.
From Lasan.
From Lasan. Okay.
And now, as we, well, you know, spoilers for Rebels, but from, you know, I'm not going to give spoilers. Okay, well, let's just go on. So, dude, I love some Kiadi Mundi, and I love that the second siege of Geonosis, so awesome. Sean Senarude, sorry, buddy. Rude cold. You know what? Just send us a voicemail. I was waiting for someone to bring this guy up. It has to be the mighty Therm Scissor Punch.
There he is.
He has a sharpened shank implanted in his claw.
What?
I remember reading about that. That is true. That is canon. He's like a scrapper.
That is hilarious.
Good old Therm Scissor Punch.
That is a great character, and oh man, we got some more. This is excellent. We're already on the 2-hour mark, Jay. This is fantastic.
You guys are showing us so much love. Let's. This
is a Bombad episode. We got Captain Saito. This is from Journey to Life Debt at Celebration. I don't know I'm so sorry. I kind of cropped out the full name. I used my screenshot. But we got Captain Sidon Ithano. Looks cool and has a great backstory in the Tales from Maz's Castle collection of short stories. I'm going to have to look this person up. I really don't remember. Saito Ithano.
He's the Crimson Corsair.
The Crimson Corsair.
The red-clad gentleman that
such an awesome design.
Finn tries to join up with.
Yeah, that's an incredible design. One of my favorites.
It is a brilliant design. One of the best from The Force Awakens. They have so much good design in The Force Awakens.
Yeah, really. It's such a good design. Oh, of course, Anthony comes back in. He's tagging more people. My dude, Rule Farm Boy, coming in clutch. He tagged...
man.
I think these people are actually associated with the Imperial Senate podcast, if I'm not mistaken. I know Claire Stribling is, but Rise of Dallas Walker.
Qui-Gon Tim.
Yeah, Qui-Gon Tim.
Qui-Gon Tim is on some... I think he goes on Steel Wars sometimes.
Okay. Well,
don't quote me on that.
The Rise of Dallas Walker wrote, and the character that gets her shit wrecked by the Rock Ray cut down on Octo. It's so funny.
Takes out their wheelbarrow. I love that.
It's so funny. They both look up, and she's just up there and looking down at them. I mean, it's so excellent.
It's so epic. Great comedic moment too, man.
It's so well timed. What did Claire Stribling have to add to this?
Claire, all right, at C Stribs from the Imperial Senate podcast said, and we knew this was coming from Claire.
Yeah, I did. I knew this was coming.
Salacious Crumb is apparently considered a background character rather than the hero of Return of the Jedi like he is in all our hearts.
Yep.
With the emoji. Claire,
yep.
I feel you, girl. Come on. I know.
I feel you.
Everyone loves Sally B, but I think no one loves Sally B quite like Claire Stribling does.
Nope. She's obsessed, and hopefully we can.
All.
Yes, exactly. We can all get our Galaxy's Edge Salacious Crumb puppets together one day at Anaheim, and we can take a giant Salacious Crumb photo. Anyway, we got another one right in from 8-Bit Saga, 8 as in like the number 8 at 8bit_saga. So they wrote, there's a story from the Tales of Cantina that talks about the Cantina bartender Woolhere and how he and a droid take Greedo's body and make a drink out of him to serve. It's morbid and funny, and he ends up befriending the droid. I love the old Legends EU. That is so bizarre, but I do kind of like that too.
That really kind of fits in with tonight's horror show.
Yes, it really does. And I also, Woolhere actually has a really good write-up in the Certain Point of View book as well.
He really does.
And it talks about him suffering and having PTSD from the Clone Wars. That's why he does not allow droids in his home. So that's really interesting. But that's a great write, and I do like that character a lot.
Love Woolhere. He's so crotchety and just
it's great.
Gruff. It's so great.
It's great.
All
Who's
right.
our next one, Jerry?
We got Friends of the Force podcast, and they said Captain Kennedy for sure. Oh, I love it. This guy, the guy
Yep.
who hates answering to Hux, and Hux's arrogance causes his downfall. Really
Yes.
such an awesome character. And you guys know me and Scotty love The Last Jedi, so
Yep.
that was such. I loved that. I was sad we didn't get more of him, but I loved.
Nope.
He shined for every single second of screen time he had. So
You should have scrambled our fighters 5 bloody minutes ago.
oh,
Such a great
so
line.
awesome! I love that.
Such
he's
a
like,
great line.
He's like, oh, I fought in the original war. All you like guys are stupid.
Yes, exactly.
Aren't we supposed to be doing things better? Oh, I love it. Love it so.
Exactly.
Excellent choice, guys. Excellent choice.
Our next
What about Ben?
our next write-ins from Ben at Zin Kenobi, and they said, and this is just so funny because it was my pick, and it was before I even read the thread. It says, I am fascinated by OP Pit, and he is the background character who almost has an arc if you watch carefully, and that is so true. So true. Great character.
I love
Great
the
character.
I love the picture he included here of him,
Yes.
Sonara and Kaz.
Yes.
Because that scene was so funny.
So funny.
So great. I loved it. Oh my goodness.
God, it's awesome.
Great pick, Ben. Great pick for real.
And we actually had a message from our friend Rick Villanova at Cad Bane's Bounty. Jerry, can you write what they wrote?
Absolutely.
Can you read what they wrote?
I will read and not rewrite what Rick wrote. Say that 5 times fast. All right, Rick, what's up, buddy? Okay, so Rick said, favorite background character, Jericho. And it's not the wrestler, Chris.
No, it's not Chris Jericho.
Not Chris Jericho. He's not coming in like in a silk robe, like talking about how Anakin gave birth to a human hand. We're talking about I don't really watch wrestling. I just heard about that. He is in the cantina right after Ponda Baba gets his arm lopped off. Jericho calmly takes a puff from the pipe he's smoking. I just think it's so funny that he doesn't give a damn. LOL. Isn't it like that guy is like so? I love that character, and he's actually a near human species. And if I remember correct, I don't know exactly in canon, but in the old EU and stuff, he was kind of like a almost like vampiric.
Yeah, you're right.
And stuff like he had like some creepy like bug tendrils that would come out of his cheeks too.
Yeah.
So and I thought that was cool, but also like you know me, I love horrifying things. So
exactly. And our very last write-in from it actually was really last minute. I put a tweet out there before the show started that says, fixing to start the show, where my Star Wars explain shirt, blah blah blah. And Jason Ward decided to write in. He said,
brilliant.
Bo Sheik is my bro Sheik. And if, for people who don't know who Bo Sheik is, it's the person that Obi-Wan is talking to before he discusses anything with Chewbacca at the Cantina bar. And Bo Sheik's a pretty... he looks very British. He's got the side chops. There's action figures of Bo Sheik, and he's got like the eyebrow thing going. He looks kind of like an ugly Sean Connery.
He is the almost Han Solo.
Yes, exactly. He really is.
He's like, literally the guy who was like, nah, or either him or Kenobi were like, I don't want to pay your prices.
Exactly. So perfect.
We were so close to like buying Boshek or Boshik. Is it Boshik or Boshek? I don't know.
Boshek. I don't know.
But either way, however you potato, we were almost buying his action figures.
Yep, you're not wrong. And that's actually our all of our write-ups from this show, and I'm so glad we can have so many people come and join us for this
absolutely.
For this
thank you,
episode.
Jason, for writing in too.
Yeah, thank you, Jason, and thank you everyone that was involved with this thread. If you want to be a part of this community and you want to be involved with this entire conversation and this thing that Jerry and I that we have going on, all you got to do is write in. You'll get featured in the show, and it makes our podcast more, I guess, approachable. And know what we love most? We love the audio recordings, and you can always email us at thebombadcast at gmail.com. And,
yes.
But thank you for everyone that wrote in. Jerry, you have anything you want to add to that, bud?
Not much, my man. No. Just thank you guys so much for listening. You've been so awesome, and thanks for hanging in for this 2-hour episode about Weirdos.
Yes, and hopefully we'll have you join in the next time. Gerry, can you give us a little tad bit of hint what the next Star Wars episode could be about?
Well, Scotty, what we're going to do next week is we're going to talk about a little thing in Star Wars that is somewhat controversial. We're going to
Oh, I can't wait.
Humor in Star Wars.
Yep.
And how it has changed and evolved over the last few few decades of its existence. So if you want to hear us, kind of talk about, we're going to talk about like just the ins and outs of how it's evolved. So come here next week. It's going to be an awesome, just interesting discussion. We can't wait to talk with you guys.
Yeah, so we're going to do a deep dive into the humor, and I'm going to do a little bit of rewatching before we get to that episode, because there's a lot of humor, subtle humor, and funny enough, on one of the podcasts I listen to, which is Around the Galaxy with Pete Fletzer, he mentions how funny A New Hope is if you go see it in theaters, because people actually laugh at the lines, whereas
people thought it was a comedy.
Yeah, exactly, and people like us who've watched A New Hope since we were literally able to comprehend a television, like it's just not as funny to us, but there's a lot of lines in that movie that are really clever, and I really can't wait to do a deep dive on that. But y'all, thank you so much for coming and listening to this 2-hour long episode. We didn't know it would be this long, but I hope everyone enjoys it, and everyone gets back in touch with us. But retweet, share, reach out to us, do whatever you want to be a part of this group and this community. We are so excited that we got people listening, and hopefully we'll keep this train going. Gerry, you want to add anything else?
Well, all I want to add is thank you guys so much for listening, and until next time, stay Bombad.
All Bombad.